Hi, I'm Tall Bob and welcome to my channel. I have a question for you. Have you ever had an absolutely atrocious hotel stay? One where you questioned your sanity, you questioned your judgment, you questioned your reality around you? Take it from me, we've all been there. In this video, we're going to talk about ways that you can manage a really, really poor hotel stay, given it is that kind of time of year where people are going to be traveling a bit more. And, there's some things to look out for, and there's some things that you can do to make your stay a little bit more bearable. So, what are some of the main problems that occur when you check into a hotel that indicate you're going to have a kind of a rough time? First is pretty obvious: the room is dirty or it's uncomfortable. I actually did a review of a hotel I stayed in not too long ago in which I was given bunk beds. I'm 6'9". It was absurd. Unfortunately, the hotel was fully booked. I couldn't change my room. I couldn't even get a room into another hotel that was within reasonable distance of where I needed to be. It was a nightmare. And my chiropractor was very pleased to see me when I did return. Um, the other is, sometimes the staff is just horrible. I was staying in a hotel a few months back, in which when you walked into the hotel staff did not greet you. They did not offer any kind of amenities. Most places, if they're kind of nice, they're going to give you at least a bottle of water or something. They were just, here's your key card, go to your room. Okay. And also, the room was absolutely filthy and was absolutely disgusting. Um, and then the last one is, noise, noise, to quote the Grinch. Um, you know, whether the walls are too thin and you got rowdy neighbors, or there's just people going up and down the hallways and just kind of creating a ruckus, that can drive you nuts. You're there to have a good night's sleep. Kind of hard to when it's really, really noisy. I stayed in a hotel a number of years ago in which there was an Air Force kind of reunion thing going on. And at that time, I was probably in my early 30s, maybe. And all you heard was drunken 70-year-old Air Force guys, God bless them, running up and down the hallways and running into the pool and carrying on and stuff like that. But, I needed to get up. I had things to do. And that was really, really kind of awful. So, what should you do before you even go? I mean, the first is pretty self explanatory. Do your research, right? When you're looking at a hotel in a particular city, you'll read the reviews and read the reviews on multiple sites because it kind of gives you a little bit more insight. You'll see if there's trends where people are saying it's noisy, the rooms are dirty, the beds are really horrible and uncomfortable, it smells like cheese, whatever. Maybe give it a miss. Also, when you're comparing prices, remember to, just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's good. The hotel that I was kind of alluding to earlier, where I had the bunk beds, that that was like $400 a night, something like that. Um, and it was just a horrible experience. I've stayed in places that were dirt cheap and were perfectly fine. So you don't really have to worry about that. Now, also, it's always good to be, kind of like Boy Scout, right? Be prepared, right? Just kind of have a few things in your bag just in case. For example, like earplugs, if it's going to be noisy, an eye mask, if, for example, the light really comes in under the door, the window shades don't close particularly well, things like that. Um, have a few things in your bag that are ready to go. The last thing you can do beforehand is, when you contact the hotel, actually call the hotel. You can book your hotel online, but then call them about your reservation and explain to them, what your needs are. Like, for example, when I go and I book my travel, because I am extraordinarily tall, I'm 6'9", I need a really, really big bed. It's otherwise I'm hanging off and it looks absolutely ridiculous. Um, and I also like to have a few extra pillows. If you communicate those needs up front, in many cases, they're going to be pretty amenable to that. Now, going back to those original stories, in both those cases where the hotels were horrible, not the Air Force one, but the one that where had the rude staff, and then the bunk bed one, I didn't book that. That went through kind of corporate travel, and they just kind of gave me what I could get, and that's fine. It is what it is. It's not their fault. They had good experiences with both of these hotels in the past. It's just quality went downhill. So let's just say you get there and you walk into your room's dirty, or it smells like cheese. Gosh, I must want cheese today. Or any number of other things. Speak up. Go down to the front desk, voice your concerns, and if they're not willing to be helpful with that, request to be moved to a different room. And if they continue to not be particularly helpful, you can ask them to find you a suitable accommodation in another hotel relatively nearby. Make sure you take pictures. If a room is dirty, or let's just say, God forbid, unsafe, take pictures of it. Keep all your receipts. Because when you get done with this, let's just say you can't resolve it, like you're in the situation that I had with the bunk beds. you know, you take the pictures, you keep the receipts, and then you contact the owner of the hotels or their primary customer service. And many times they'll either give you credits, refund you, do things like that. And worst comes to worst, you always can call your credit card company and dispute the charge for that. So let's just say that you're unable to resolve all this stuff, so you're kind of stuck in this horrible box of a room, right? What are you going to do next, right? You're literally, your hands are tied. For me, it's just, I find humor in it. As long as it's not unsafe, like there's not gross mold or anything like that, and the bed's a little uncomfortable, just laugh at it. Ultimately, you're there to sleep. Also, remember why you traveled in the first place. It may be for work, but it may be for pleasure. The whole purpose of the room is just a place to sleep. So why not just spend your time out and about enjoying and embrace the kind of new adventure that you're going to be on? For example, when I was in that hotel with the rude staff, I spent very little time in the actual room itself. I literally would go up, clean myself up, go to sleep, get up in the morning, go out and do the things that I needed to do. And it forced me to kind of expand my horizons and go and explore a little bit more. You know, you can just take the time to enjoy your surroundings. And that's why you travel in the first place. You want to see something new. Sometimes you're seeing something bad in a room that smells like cheese, but sometimes you just have to step outside for a little bit. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I sincerely appreciate it. If you enjoyed, some of these tips, some of these tricks, or even some of the, kind of weird comparisons I made to things smelling of cheese, then, by all means, please subscribe and, drop a like if you will. It does help. I'm a small channel here trying to grow and stuff like that, and any little bit is certainly most appreciated. Um, with that, I'm going to bid you adieu. Hope you have a great day and happy traveling. Bye bye.